A chemistry teacher from Manchester has been jailed for a minimum of 4 years for planning to travel to Syria to fight alongside Islamic State. Jamshed Javid, who's 30, was arrested in December 2013. A jury at Woolwich Crown Court heard how his family had tried to convince him to stay in the UK. They even hid his passport in an attempt to stop him making that trip. Their secret recordings were used as evidence in court, including this row with his sister.
I don't care about the police, they can arrest me, I'm not bothered. I told them that day, if I do something wrong, arrest me. I've not done anything wrong. I'm not bothered about police. Lock me up. I'm not bothered if they lock me up.
Well, Abdullah al Andalusi is a speaker and activist for Islam and Muslim affairs and for the Muslim Debate Initiative. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
It was interesting to hear him say that I'm not bothered if they lock me up. That's exactly what's happened today. And we were hearing from our correspondent Danny Savage earlier, who was saying that in many ways the tough sentence that's been handed out is perhaps designed to be a deterrent.
I don't really think it is a deterrent if you really look at the mentality behind someone who chooses to go. I mean, obviously they choose to go, they choose to put themselves at risk in a war zone. So they obviously clearly believe in the cause strongly enough to risk their life. So surely jail pales in comparison to risking your own life. And it's just another obstacle or occupational hazard for those people who have already decided to endeavour upon that journey.
Yeah, so if jail, which is designed to be one of the big deterrents in life, in society, if that's not going to work, what should we look at instead?
Well, first and foremost, of course, it is alleged that Javed wanted to join ISIS, and if that is true, then obviously the way to counter that is really just obviously dealing with the issue of ISIS and understanding of people towards this group by showing it's a terrorist group, it shouldn't be joined, it does immoral actions and so on. And of course, I think everyone across the board, all British society, has reiterated that very, very clearly. But there is another issue at hand, which is the general Syrian rebellion against Bashar al-Assad. People joining that are also accused of being terrorists and tried as being terrorists, even if they do not join ISIS. And I think that's a bit of a problem because it shows a double standard. I mean, people were joining to fight against Gaddafi in Libya and no one accused them of being terrorists. There was people with Oyster cards shown on newspapers saying they're from London and they went to fight with the rebels against Gaddafi and no one said that was wrong.
How do you know? I mean, there are so many fractured groups across Syria at the moment. How do you know who they're going to fight for? People would argue that it's better to treat them all the same way, to stop them going, to make it illegal.
Well, people were saying, including the US State Department, that there were Al-Qaeda in Libya, but that didn't stop people from going, and nor were they banned. Secondly, people should be innocent until proven guilty. And to kind of broad brushstroke the entire Syrian rebels as terrorists against Bashar al-Assad is doing Bashar al-Assad's work. This is what Bashar al-Assad's rhetoric was, that the rebels against him are all terrorists. So
for clarity then, I mean, do you agree with this conviction today?
Well, he pleaded guilty himself to preparing for acts of terrorism. That might have been on the advice of his lawyer. But it is claimed that he wanted to join ISIS. And if he did want to join ISIS, then this is wrong.
Yeah, I think it was accepted. I mean, the whole point of his family trying to stop him going because he was going to join Islamic State.
I'm not too sure if he was specifically going to join Islamic State. But if that was the case, then of course it was morally wrong for him to do so, and his family obviously tried to stop him. But for other people who are going to Syria not to join ISIS, their family members face a dilemma as to whether they would report their son and daughter and see their life destroyed, or they're sent to jail having that black mark against them.
But then equally, if they go to somewhere that's extraordinarily dangerous, they risk having their life destroyed by losing it. I mean, in this case, we heard that his mother was so keen to keep him in the country because she'd already lost one son who'd gone to Syria, that she would rather see him alive in a British jail than die in Syria.
That's up for the parents to decide. I mean, there was the case of Mohammed Nahin Ahmed, who was sentenced to 12 years in jail after his parents reported him, and his father said that he regrets reporting him to the police now because his son's life is effectively destroyed. Having no hope for your future might even be worse than dying. So I think that the broad brushstroke of criminalisation for people who join Syrian rebels who are not prescribed groups is the wrong policy for the British government to take and is counterproductive. And many parents might risk letting their son go to Syria with the hope they would come back undetected and return back to their normal life, rather than condemn them to prison where they're guaranteed the rest of their life to have that black mark against them, and they won't be able to find employment or have a future. And they'll probably be monitored after coming back out of jail. So really, it's a very horrific dichotomy that parents face. And in the case of Mohammed Nahin Ahmed, his father regretted reporting onto the police after they saw how he was treated by the courts and the sentence that he got.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate. Abdullah al Andalusi, thank you for the Muslim Debate Initiative. Let us know what you think about what he said. Is it right to not differentiate between the different groups in Syria? How difficult a decision is it for parents to make? 85058, or you can email us drive@bbc.co.uk.